camping hangover. Welcome back. Here's the Brio Technologies outdoor pollen cam. Little pine pollen for you.
We thought, you know what we'll do? We're just going to get away for the weekend.
Right.
Go to Eagle Lake, which, by the way, is adorable. We've never been there before. And then we found out
our kids suck at camping.
That everything on the planet, Yuba Lake, is coated in pollen. A generous layer of pollen that then makes its way into your lungs and your nasal passages.
That's been her diagnosis of me.
And Zoe. And me.
Our kids, the camping is okay. It's great. No sleeping. None. I've learned that my 18-year-old has some gas. And
why do you think I made you sleep with him and I slept with Zoe? I'm no fool.
And,
I probably shouldn't have said that out loud.
And we like to hip check each other, shoving each other and making room for...
I had no idea he had that kind of strength in his legs because I looked over a couple of times and you were crouched right on the side of the bed, just your hip just edging. One push you would have knocked you right on the floor.
It was crazy.
And
as a matter of fact, and we saw some critters.
You saw some critters?
Here, watch this. Watch this. Oh, yeah. There's a critter.
I know. This is such a good sign. A snake for our first outing. Snakes are very powerful magic.
I kept going, go for snake, right? Go for snake, right? Go for snake, right?
Waiting for the rattle.
Oh, that's cool.
That's like the glamour shot. I love how I looked at the camera like, what are you still doing here?
You know what I need?
What?
Richard Attenborough.
To narrate this.
To narrate,
moment.
Yes.
Yeah, it is beautiful. Yeah, it was not a rattler, it was a gopher snake. But that is very good. Yeah, in Native American mythology, the snake is a very powerful creature of magic. This is a very auspicious beginning for us for the summer.
What about people who get bit by snakes?
The gopher snake's not going to bite you unless you really irritated it.
The other people who get bit by poisonous snakes. That's a big deal in their lives.
How many of those do really happen, ever?
Snake bites in the world?
Not a ton, unless you're like in Australia and then it's
Lots.
like a thing, but no.
In Australia alone, there's at least thousands of them. Plus one.
Really?
Gas prices. Yeah, good for me having an F-250. I'm an idiot.
What's your mileage count on that? It's like about 7 miles a gallon.
No, it's actually reversed. It just doesn't. You go a mile on a gallon. Remember back when life was simple, and and Theodore, Jeb would run out and he'd wash your windshields. And I remember when it was like under 50 cents, do you? I don't know if you do.
No.
Barely remember. Something like 60 cents. And then the embargo happened and all that. They say by the end of the summer, it's going to be $3 a gallon plus. AAA has been tracking this. It's gone up 15 cents in the last, on average.
What a surprise!
Yeah, this is Death Valley. Look at the price.
Oh my gosh!
This is.
And they know you'll pay it because you want to get the hell out of Death Valley.
Because you'll die.
Yeah, it's a matter of you need to leave Death Valley, so sure you'll pay.
You're happy at this price.
Honored to pay it at that.
That's price. How much water costs there too.
Wow.
So a lot of people are saying, hey, this is because Trump's administration, their hard line on Iran, and get all those people excited and raise the price.
They always raise the price in summer because they know that's when you're going to be going on vacation. It's always this way.
And Utah has traditionally the highest in the country, even though
we have a refinery in like North Salt Lake. Why is it
three of them? And they say, well, it's because a refinery in Wyoming, we have to shut it down to clean it. Well, you knew this was going to happen. Why don't you build up a reserve and
why would that mean
stop screwing us over?
Why would that even be an excuse?
Do you know why gas prices are actually going up?
Why, dear?
I thought you'd never ask.
Oh my God, it's the whiteboard, isn't it? Yeah, it's the whiteboard.
Yeah.
Okay. Hit me. What's going on?
First, you got yourself a very sad-looking
what is that supposed to be?
Dinosaur, of course.
Oh,
don't be ridiculous.
Oh, now
like
it's
that.
All clear.
Okay, and then all of a sudden he dies.
Yeah, sure.
See the X? That means he dies.
Sure enough.
And this carbon goes in, and it goes down, and it mixes with what's that? Palm tree, that's right, palm tree. And then it goes down and it stratifies in the earth, and it's down here, and it turns into crude. And then we suck that up out, and then that crude goes into a refinery that looks like this, and the ones in Bountiful, and they burn, and that smell you smell is not bad for you. Actually, it's encouraged that you breathe it in deeper. And then over here, and then it goes into your car, like that, and you drive it, and that's what cost all the money. Is that backwards? No, it's perfect.
That worked out beautifully.
There you go.
Wow.
So,
we started with a perfectly innocent stegosaurus without a tail, and we ended up with a lot of money.
that's how it works.
Man, that's harsh.
Uh-huh.
That's kind of cruel.
That's why I'm here. Mr. Science.
Really? Is that the designation we're going with now?
Nah, I'm gonna. I don't care. I'm cold medication. All
I
right.
can kind of tell. You're a little bit freewheeling today. It's kind of cute. I'm not complaining.
Sounds like you are.
You know what? This actually was the coolest thing. And next year I want to do this. And I'm going to bring my sister Jenny, who we really call a man because she has spectacular building skills. They have something I've never heard of before. You know, Habitat Humanity. We've heard about that many times, of course, right?
All right.
But I've never heard about this. It's Women Build Week, and they do it the week leading up to Mother's Day each year.
Yeah.
And all these women descend upon a project,
There it is. Mm-hmm.
and they build. And it's amazing. In the 11 years for National Women Build Week, they've brought more than 117,000 female construction volunteers together to build and repair more than 4,500 American homes.
Wow.
That's really cool. And so
Women with tool belts.
yeah, the women were descending on this place in Springville, and they like totally hooked it, spruced it back up, and got it together. I would totally love to do that.
I have an
You
issue.
would have to help me with a few things, and Jenny would have to show me some stuff. But I would love to be part of that
Yeah, we could roll in with all the gear.
because you have it all.
Use my truck, and you get out and spit on the ground, and go, let's build some.
Do I have to spit?
But that's actually not right. But anyway,
okay, yeah.
I want to take these people that we're talking about the tourism thing, right? And everybody's thinking, let's plan our vacation.
Well, we
for
always
summer.
do that when we drive places. I always look for like the weird stuff, like where has the biggest ball of string, or if you're in Kansas, you have to stop by the world's biggest frying pan.
These are rip-offs.
Really?
Shall we start with the Four Corners?
Of course.
The Four Corners is a great place.
It's
That's
beautiful.
not a rip. What's the rip-off? You get to stand in 4 states at the same time, and I remember doing it when I was a kid. Everyone should do this.
Okay. I didn't know.
You're just saying it to patronize me.
I'm here to support you. I didn't know it was
Number 2, in Maine, the desert in Maine, known throughout the country.
Maine has a desert.
Sort of.
What is that?
It's a camel, duh.
Well, okay, but
They're in a desert.
no, that doesn't.
There's a big sand desert in Maine.
Is it a desert or is it just the beach?
It's kind of a sand pit,
Okay.
but it looks like a desert.
Sure.
Let's move on to my next one. Future
Maine?
home of Captain Kirk.
Kansas? Of course. That's awesome. How can that be an overrated tourist trap? That's fantastic.
For you,
This is when Captain James T. Kirk is born right there.
soon.
Although, according to J.J. Abrams, it was actually on the ship that his dad was piloting, Chris Hemsworth, who is gorgeous, and horribly crashed while he and his mother were in the escape pod. But other than that, that is an ideal moment. There's many permutations of Star Trek. We all know this.
Oh, let's just pick on Utah again. Monkey Store.
Yeah, but this one really is full of crap.
It is, and you can buy it for pennies on the dollar.
Okay, this is not an actual Indian
No.
anything.
No.
It's not. It's like it's a cheesy recreation.
Yeah.
It's not for real.
Yeah,
so
but
why
it's-
would that be a tourist? Why would you go? Oh my gosh! You know where you should go? You should go to this store.
Right.
Why?
They've
'Cause
got
it's
belts.
A store that looks like
They got
things.
belts with beaded belts with your name on it. By the way, when I was growing up, Todd was never one of the names on the keychains.
Neither
either.
was Erin. I never got one of those cute wristbands that all the other girls got. 'Cause Erin was just not heard of.
Matter of fact, when I was in French class, there is no French word for Todd.
What'd they call you?
Jean-Claude.
No way.
Way.
Jean-Claude.
They did. Thanks
I'm
for
going to
bringing
call
back
you-
that memory.
I'm going to call you Jean-Claude from now
Jean-Claude.
on.
Alaska,
Okay.
the North Pole.
Well, there's not really a
There, that one.
North Pole. Oh, the Hollywood Walk of Fame, though, in California. No, everybody does that.
Yeah, you have
Because
to
it's like
do
you
that.
got to see all the people's names and junk and.
Georgia, World of Coca-Cola, right next to the World of Diabetes. They're two separate foundations, but they all going after the same thing.
You know, when I lived in the South, when I lived in Virginia, people actually did that with hams. We had the famous Smithfield hams, which is the first thing I learned, that you could have hams that were non-refrigerated.
Yes.
And you had to fluff them back up because
Dehydrated.
They were supposed to be a delicacy.
Yeah, they're great.
And people would fluff them back up with Coca-Cola because it breaks down the fibers in the ham. And I was essentially thinking this means we're essentially drinking something that can break down cartilage. And that was the time I gave up soda.
You can't make fun of me going off track anymore.
I guess not. Go on. Connecticut Wild Bill's Nostalgia Store.
Wild Bill Hickok.
Okay. No, actually, no. It says it's a quirky roadside pop culture stand that's famous for being home to a terrifying Jack-in-the-Box that's said to be the world's largest.
Sounds close.
Sure.
Idaho, Craters of the Moon. A lot of people have been up there and saw that.
That's not bad.
Okay, here's your one in Kansas, the world's largest ball of twine.
See?
There is something sad about it, though. It's settled. So it's more like a dome of twine.
The largest dome
Because you would
of twine.
think, oh, that'd be so cool if it was just perfectly round and there was twine. But it's kind of...
It's the twine dome.
It looks like a bundt
not
cake.
the same.
It looks like a bundt cake without a hole in it.
And it doesn't have any cream cheese frosting, so there's really no use in
No
even
use.
stopping.
Pass that one up.
Not in the slightest.
All right.
Okay, well, interesting. The Moki store, come on. But I think a couple of those are reasonable. Why? You lived
These
in Maine.
are
We have been
snobs.
there. We've been there like almost every year since I've married you. Why
Right,
is it? And I
right.
never knew about the Great Desert of Maine.
I didn't know about it either. And I'll tell you, those were not happy camels because I've been there during the winter for many years. And
Oh, they looked very bitter, and I can't
those
blame them.
those hooves would not do well in the snow. All right, coming up, information with you, and it's being brought to you by Fink and McGregor. Mortgages made simple, and when they say that, they mean it. They can get you all different types, and they call them products of different kinds of mortgage that'll work for you and your credit account. Also, Brio Technologies, they can put lights and smoke and all these different effects behind your presentations. They're the people you want to hire. And New Millennium Group, you have some money, you need to know where to put it as opposed to a jar on the refrigerator, like Adam Sandler in The Wedding Singer. I have money, I'd like more money. So if you want some help on that, all you have to do is go to Millennium Group, financial thing.
UtahsFinancialPlanner.com.
All right, what do you got?
All right, hello everyone. Here is what is making news on Monday, May 7th here on GetPartDaily.com. 8 people were injured, 2 of them critically, after a trailer loaded with hay bales overturned on State Route 24 Sunday morning. The UHP says a pickup truck was pulling the trailer when the load suddenly shifted, causing it to roll. 2 southbound vehicles were hit, injuring all 8 occupants inside. 6 of the injured were taken by ambulance to Sevier Valley Hospital. The other 2 were flown to Utah trauma units. The UHP investigation into the crash is ongoing. The FBI and the Bureau of Indian Affairs are asking the public to be on the lookout for Bradley James Moore. He's a suspect in the shooting Sunday in the Fort Duchesne area. Authorities have yet to release details of the shooting other than to say that Moore escaped on foot, is likely to still be in the area. Now, police consider Moore armed and dangerous. They're asking anyone to see him or who knows of his whereabouts to call 911. And in Ogden, a man was booked into Weber County Jail Saturday evening after breaking into an apartment and being caught holding a 12-inch galvanized pipe in one hand and the male resident's underwear in the other.
He looks excited.
The police say that 60-year-old David Graham Pomeroy and the startled resident scuffled before Pomeroy dropped the pipe and underwear and ran from the apartment. He was later tracked to a nearby home where he denied any knowledge of the incident. He now faces burglary and criminal mischief charges.
Which in college we call that a panty raid.
And by the way, that is the mugshot of the week, ladies and
That
gentlemen.
is the mudshot.
The mugshot of the week. Time now for a look at Wasatch Front weather, brought to you by Brio Technologies, Utah's top audio-visual specialists, and our friends at Magic Wash, home of the long-lasting ceramic car wash. Outlets in South Ogden and a new facility on Antelope Drive in Layton. Now, the great weather we had over the weekend will continue for the next few days. Thank you, universe. Expect temperatures to be in the low 80s through midweek under mostly sunny skies. Chance of rain is virtually nada, zilch, zero, until the end of the week when we see a dip in temperatures and isolated thunderstorms. That's it for now. For more news and weather 24/7, go to GetPartDaily.com.
All right, I'm going to talk a little bit about your money again. Millennium Financial And a lot of people have this problem because a lot of people, did the right thing in the 401ks and all that, and then they got decimated, and then they started them again, and maybe they're selling their house, and do they upgrade to a different house? Do they downgrade? Do they get a condo? What are you doing with your money, and which direction do you want to go? They can help you out. Just go to utahfinancialplanner.com. We should talk about East High.
This makes me really, really proud.
Why?
Well, okay, let's say you're at one of your kids' sporting events and somebody has a medical problem, struggling to breathe. That is terrifying. I remember that we got trained on using EpiPens at one point for the boys' school.
Yep.
Because we wanted to make sure if any of the kids had a thing, we were knew what we were doing. But it gets more and more complex. And there was a youth basketball tournament at East High a couple of nights ago. Several people, fortunately, knew exactly what to do.
For what?
Because Lieutenant Eric Stuckey is an enforcement officer with the Utah Department of Natural Resources. He was watching his kids play when he stepped in, when he saw the kid fall to the ground.
His son?
It wasn't his son. It was another basketball player. Struggling to breathe. And parents were running around asking for some help, and everyone was freaking out. So when he heard this, he ran over. And he says, the faster you act, the better. It's always chaotic. Everybody's always in a panic. So he says, you always point to someone and you say, go call 911. You point directly at someone.
So someone actually does it.
So you give them the responsibility. If I'm looking right at you, you're the one who's doing this. Then number two. He said he was struggling to breathe. So I began CPR on the man, trying to maintain his vitals until the advanced medical could get there.
Right.
And so another person who was standing by, he pointed to him and said, do you know any first aid? He went, yes. He said, come down with me and we'll take turns. So that way they're able to keep going at the right rhythm. You and I practice that at the same time. But it was
we should probably say, what is the right rhythm for an adult?
Staying alive. Remember the song from the Bee Gees?
Bee Gees. Staying alive. Staying alive.
And they no longer do the mouth breaths.
And you don't have to sing.
Well, I actually probably would, because I would want to make sure I was doing it at the right
true.
rhythm. But it's kind of cool. They say it's second nature to them now. And he says, look, if you can just get a brusher course, he says it makes all the difference. There's always free courses at a lot of different schools, always at hospitals.
Online.
And if you have a big enough group, the Red Cross will come to you. But you're right. You can also go to cpr.heart.org. So the important thing is,
he jumps in.
He's recovering well.
Jumps in.
Hospital, emergency ambulance came. Everything's okay.
Right.
And he's going to be fine.
But
how cool, though, that they had the experience and they're right there going, boom, let's do this.
I think it's also interesting. It used to be before a lot of people got educated. It was like, is there a doctor in the house? I'm a doctor.
It has to be a doctor, and if there's not a doctor, it's like, no.
We're just going to watch them expire. We're not going to do anything because we're not doctors. But everyone now was like Mike in our booth, he search and rescue, and they knew all this stuff. And they know how to hold all the goodies inside the skin so they could get the body down the mountain and get them to a doctor. But it's all those people who keep the people together to get them to the hospital and get that kind of attention,
well,
that level.
Brian, our friend who we were camping with over the weekend, Ryan and Jen, he does a ton of CPR and first aid.
Right.
And he talked about that, and he goes, I was very happy when they stopped the rescue breaths. And I said, why? He goes, have you ever had anyone vomit in your mouth?
It happens.
And I said, is that a fairly common occurrence? He goes, oh, more than once. I went, I can see where you would be relieved.
Hesitant.
That would be gone.
Hesitant. Interesting character he is. He's got a fairly elaborate first aid thing, and I think he waits.
Yes, he does. And he's just like you. Are you kidding?
I think he watches everybody and goes, that guy stumbled. Is he having an issue?
You do the same thing. Okay, I apologize, Mike. I didn't get you this picture, but we must talk about Fat Jack's Burger Emporium. It is down, and it's a new one of the offshoots of Christopher's Prime Steakhouse. And this place is to die for. Todd and I had lunch there. I had the Mormon burger with like the funeral potatoes on it, which was delicious.
I had the blue cheeseburger. It was awesome.
Oh, man, that was good. Well, here's the deal. They've got their patio open. They're right there on Main Street, and they're wonderful. It's such a good place to sit and eat. And so they're giving you an invitation for you and office of 20 to come down and have lunch there. So once again, I'm repeating this. Fat Jack's Burger Emporium.
Yum, yum.
And Brewery.
Nice.
Right there. It's on the corner, I believe, of 2nd South and...
You can smell it.
It's West Temple,
You
actually.
can smell it.
And it's glorious. And they will open it up. All 20 of you crowd in there. You have an amazing lunch. You're laughing. You're talking. You are now everybody's favorite at the office. And this is all you have to do. If you'd like to win that, we are going to give it away today. So this is this simple. All you have to do is say something on one of our Facebook pages. If you are on the Get Part Daily or Get Part Approved Facebook page, just mention Fat Jacks. If you are on the Todd and Erin page, first of all, good morning. We're so happy to see you. Once again, mention Fat Jacks. You're in the running, and I will draw within the next 24 hours, and you'll be notified.
All right, coming up
Lunch
next.
for 20. That's really cool.
Google Maps. Trying to kill you. It's next.
We're brought to you by Fink & McGregor. Mortgages made simple. Just head to fink-mcgregor.com. Take 4 minutes to answer some questions, and you'll get a great idea about mortgages that you're eligible for. And by Stay Fit Wellness Clinic. Go get a personalized health analysis. This is the time to get back in shape. Feel better, feel younger, and without a ton of new medications at stayfitwellnessclinic.com.
All right, welcome back to the Todd and Erin noon
Daily stream.
Daily stream.
Daily stream. We've
Still
made a
not-
decision.
we can eat T-shirts.
You think?
Yeah, I think we
I could
do.
just write it on my hand the way I
It's
used
not-
to in radio.
It's not going to help.
When we were in radio way long ago, before they let you be a person, they would give you new names every time. Like if you were in traffic, you'd be Elaine Closure. Or there was one time that I had to be Erin early because it was the morning show. And there was another time I worked for a country station and they named me Randy Rollins. To this day, my sister Julie still calls me Randy when she's angry at me. And after a while, when they change your name enough, you literally have to write it on your hand. So you're like, hey, top of the morning show, it's Erin Early here. I'm really glad we don't do that anymore.
Just to be fair, they did it to men, too.
Oh, everybody had it.
I was going to be called because we had Fisher, and then they were going to call me Hunter, and I went, screw you. I said, if I'm getting up at 5 o'clock and there's a chance that there's something in this for me, I'm going to use my name, not have to, no, it's really, I'm Hunter, and there's my name.
You don't look like a hunter to me at all. A hunter's like a little blonde kid in 2nd grade. You're not a hunter.
That's my education level, but I don't think you should bring that up.
All right. Can I just say that apparently Captain Obvious needs to be working up in Ogden at the Weber County Sheriff's Office.
Wow, what's going on? Captain Obvious.
Okay, you're sitting here and you're detectives.
Yes,
in
you're
a police
detectives.
station.
Police station.
You're fairly intelligent. You've been well trained in nuance and the disturbing possibility of criminal activity everywhere around you, right?
A crinkle of the eye, a twist of the lip.
Over the course of a 2-year period, an employee's performance plunged, and complaints from colleagues, prosecutors, and others still didn't sway the Weber County Sheriff's Office to report concerns that the clerk had been stealing methamphetamine from the
locker.
evidence locker.
Yeah.
2 years of people going, I'm pretty sure your evidence clerk is high.
Maybe he just wants to remove his teeth on purpose.
It's actually a female, but this is the awesome review. The warning signs were present but ignored, jeopardizing, unfortunately, this is the worst part of this, criminal prosecutions and harming the reputation of the office.
Right.
Because now if there's a screw up in evidence, every other defense attorney can go,
Oh, that's true.
So
That's true.
now you're stuck on this miserable
They were
wheel of
mixed
crap.
up as this person was messing. I didn't even think of that.
She left behind discarded packages when she took the drugs from the county's evidence locker, also pocketing money, jewelry, purses, and other items. She also, I'm angry now. She failed to send sexual assault kits and other evidence to the state crime lab, kept the room in disarray, and did not respond to requests from police and prosecutors seeking evidence. Multiple criminal cases have been dismissed as a result of evidence from related cases.
Wow.
Thank you so much.
Wow.
Now here's the deal. The woman's supervisor, Kevin Burns, was then a lieutenant who went on to become a sheriff's deputy over a different division of the sheriff's office. According to the review, allowed the behavior to go unchecked and unreported. Now, to me, I'm thinking once you find the drug package empty and popped open, just
Something's
sitting there
going
the floor,
on.
I would assume without any specific criminal investigative training, there might be an issue.
I'm not CSI.
2 years.
But 2 years. Seriously.
Wow.
Plus, you'd think they would type faster, but it doesn't work that way.
It's never, and yeah, with meth, you think maybe a really tidy room, but no, disarray all the time.
Cheyenne, Wyoming.
Explain this to me.
Father and son on a trip. Now, the son's 60, and the father's 85.
They're Utahns. I believe they're from Park City, right?
Well, they should know better. Sorry.
Oh, that doesn't look good.
So they're going to go to Yellowstone.
That's a bad look.
and GPS told them to go a certain way, but the roads are closed during winter when you go that way.
Okay, well, snow still covers much of the route. It's been unplowed since fall, but the men swore their navigation device said that sucker was open. So then their Nissan got stuck Tuesday about a mile from the last road closed sign, and men had to call for help on his cell phone. Eventually, they managed to get a signal. Rescuers got them out with help from a resident in a pickup truck. Here's the problem. Many roads in and around Yellowstone National Park are still remaining covered with snow and unpassable. And here's something that's important. In Wyoming, when you drive around a road closed sign,
You don't do that.
it's a big no-no because they have it there because it's closed.
There's a reason.
That's a $420 fine.
No, it's more than that. It's your life.
Now,
Unless, well, his dad was old, he could have eaten him because he wouldn't have been able to put up a fight.
it's pretty funny because the search and rescue people say it happens once or twice a year. You know, locals know better than to go up there. He says, but sometimes tourists still just intend on believing their Google map. We don't know why. So there you go.
That's funny.
I'm, number one, very, very happy they survived. But number two,
Right.
it's like that guy that drove into a lake because his Google map thing told him to. It's
They
like,
tried to sue them.
it's like, you know, there's still visual
Sorry about
evidence
this.
that makes you, you know. Okay,
Young people from Dutch land,
this is really cool.
Dutch, Holland.
Deutschland is actually Germany.
I didn't say that. I said Dutch land, not Deutschland. Never mind.
Deutschland.
We're getting in trouble. So anyway, they came up with this great thing because there is a plastic island that is floating between California and Japan. And it is the size of, well, where was it the size of?
Miles and miles across the Great Pacific Garbage Patch.
Right.
And
Twice the size of Texas. What?
can you imagine the unimaginable size of this floating debris? And it's all clumped together, and it's twice the size of Texas.
Yeah, and this,
Imagine how much marine life that's killed.
it's crazy. But these guys did a startup, and they got 2.2 million. After we show this? They showed the this one of the Dutch guys, brilliant man. And so where they're testing it, they're testing in San Francisco Bay. Isn't that right? Mm-hmm. Yes, San Francisco Bay. And boats go out, basically clean the trash out every 6 to 8 weeks, and they estimate the thing will be done in five years.
No way.
It's a passive system. It has a screen that hangs just below the water, so the fish can go underneath it, and the trash gets onto it, and it is collected, and the ships go out, and they take the tons of plastic, anything else that floats, and they take it out of the dispose of it.
That's incredible to me.
And then put it back out. And they're like a mile long,
That's
and
incredible.
they work on their own, and it takes no energy to use them at all. And I think that is just incredible.
That is the most beautiful thing I think I've heard all week.
Well, they figured out this is at least one way. They now employ 70, the Dutch kids, they employ 70 engineers and researchers and scientists. And
But it originally came from his brain.
Yeah, they
That's
said,
incredible.
here's a simple way I think it would work. Next thing you know, here they are.
You know, in 5 years sounds like a lot, but you have to remember you're still talking about a debris field twice the size of Texas. And even chipping away at bit, when every other, coastal authorities went, we don't know what to do. That's incredible.
Well, this is their test. This is their test in one place and seeing if they can collect it, and then they can go into full operation. Like you said, it'll never be taken care of totally because there's new stuff being added, and it's because of the current that kind of gathers it.
But even if there's a continuous way to keep removing it, you're still talking about saving an unimaginable amount of sea life that would have been trapped in it otherwise.
I just saw a documentary, and a person was diving in it, and they got the boat into some of it, and she went under with her mask.
Boy, she's braver than I am.
And it's everything you expect: Bic lighters, water bottles, obviously, all different kinds of jugs and all this stuff.
Phantom nets, fisherman's nets.
There's flaked up plastic that floats below it. That's all broken out out of the bigger things. This is going to take care of it.
That's incredible to me.
It's a
I
start.
hadn't heard about that. All right, coming up in just a minute, we've got Hollywood Connection, Avengers, Infinity War. We'll tell you how it did. We're brought to you by Stay Fit Wellness Clinic. If you're tired of feeling sick and tired, it's time to make an appointment with Dr. Bowden for a new holistic health plan to make you feel better, lose weight, sleep well at stayfitwellnessclinic.com. And by Magic Wash with 2 locations in South Ogden and Layton. Come in for the ceramic car wash that keeps your car cleaner longer by sheeting all the dirt and the water off your nice shiny finish. Welcome back to the Todd and Erin Daily Stream Hollywood Connection, brought to you by Connect Heating and Air. By the way, Leanne just told me they have a $39 special right now. You can get your air conditioner or your swamp cooler all tuned up, and that way you save hundreds of dollars in energy bills over the summer from your unit struggling to try to cool the house.
It's hot.
This is so exciting. Okay, now we told you that last week Avengers Infinity War broke every single box office record globally. Number 1 here in the United States, made more than any other opening box office weekend, including Star Wars. It also broke everything internationally. Second week, it has earned an additional $112.5 million in tickets. Any other movie would have just died being thrilled and happy, and that was its second week. Isn't that amazing? I mean, how cool is that? Number 2 was Overboard. I haven't seen it. Quiet Place. That's John Krasinski's horror movie. That's still doing really, really well with 7.6. I Feel Pretty. That's Amy Schumer's. That kind of ended up flopping.
It really did, didn't it? I Feel Pretty.
Yeah, and then Rampage at number 5 with 4.6. So, do you know the Black Panther is still in the top 10 for box office after all this time?
Where's the romantic comedies, folks? Where are the romantic comedies?
It's about the superheroes, and they have Lycra bodysuits. It's awesome. Be happy.
All bulgy and stuff.
You have never complained about Scarlett Johansson in a catsuit, not once.
All right, so let's
Never
get
once have you complained about Scarlett Johansson.
Worldwide headlines being brought to you by the New Millennial Group. If you have money, they want to make you have more money, and they're going to tell you what to do and plan your future. All you have to do is go to UtahFinancialPlanner.com. Also, Stay Fit if you're looking for a total a program about eating, about exercise, spirituality. They can help you do that. Fink and McGregor, 4-minute quiz on their website, and they will call you back the next business day and give you some options on what you're looking to buy. Do not try to buy a house without being qualified. You will not get that house in this market. All right, world headlines.
Here's what's making news in the U.S. and around the world on Monday. That's May 7th here on GephartDaily.com. North Korea's foreign ministry is warning Washington to not mistake its peace-loving intentions for a sign of weakness. The statement was released Sunday, blasting U.S. claims that sanctions imposed upon the North have paved the way for the upcoming summit between Donald Trump and Kim Jong-un. The North Korean spokesman said, intentionally provoking the North when it is advancing towards peace and reconciliation is a dangerous action that will lead to the dampening of the mood for dialogue and undo the progress of recent developments. In the meantime, nearly 200 wild horses have been found dead in a dried-out pond on the Navajo Nation land in northern Arizona. Oh. Navajo Nation Vice President Jonathan Ned said the horses were looking for water and got stuck in the mud at one of the area's only watering holes. Navajo Nation President Rushel Begay said that the incident exemplifies the problem the Navajo Nation is facing with an overpopulation of feral horses. Seismic activity around the Hawaii's Kilauea volcano increased Monday with additional fissures opening, at least 31 buildings destroyed by lava flow.
Yikes.
It seems so bizarre, like in a developed area, but there you are. There's now at least 10 open fissure vents, all in the eastern end of the big island of Hawaii. The volcano itself has been shooting lava streams up to 230 feet in the air. Okay, about 1,700 residents have been ordered to evacuate, and of the 31 buildings lost, 26 of them are personal homes. So it's making its mark.
That is crazy looking.
Right? Time now for a look at Wasatch Front weather. It's brought to you by Brio Technologies, Utah's most excellent audiovisual specialist, and by Magic Wash, home of the super duper high-tech, long-lasting ceramic car wash outlets in South Ogden and Layton. The great weather we had over the weekend does continue for the next few days. Temperatures are expected to hover in the low 80s through midweek under mostly sunny skies. Now, the chance of rain is virtually zero until the end of the week, and then we're going to see a dip in temperatures and just a few isolated thunderstorms. For more news 24/7, you can check out GephartDaily.com.
I got to tell you, I did see there was a show, documentary of sorts, and there were parts where the volcano in Hawaii would come down and cover a road, right? And it would just cover the road and stuff, and it would isolate homes that were over there that never got destroyed.
Isn't that the most bizarre thing?
So you basically were cut off from, and when it cooled, you could ride a bike or a motorcycle up to that point, have to park it, climb over the field, get down, get on another motorcycle or a bicycle, and go to town. And they're gorgeous homes, and people have actually sold them.
You would have to. How are you going to get around? I mean,
Have 2 motorcycles and do some climbing.
and
But
that
they've
was
sold
reason
it.
enough, huh?
People say, listen, they've got the best view. They've got, and lava
No one's
fields,
going to bug you.
and they're
'cause-
not hot, they're cold.
Wow.
Yeah. Anyway, I thought that was cool. The Japanese bus drivers are not taking any guff.
I love this story. This is the best way to strike ever.
The Roby group, this is a bus line. And so basically what they do is they run buses, and they employ a lot of drivers. Now, one of the things is that another company came in, kind of overlapped some of the routes, and are charging less for fares. The driver said, you got to protect us. This company, you got to protect us.
Yeah, this is impacting our ability to make a living.
Yeah, and this is not going to work. And they went, don't you ever strike on us, mister. I don't think they sound like that, but in this case they do.
Yeah.
And
sure.
they said, okay, we're going to go to work, and we're going to drive our bus, and we're going to open those doors, and we're going to greet our customers, and we're not going to take their money. It's
That
brilliant.
means you're not getting any either.
It's brilliant.
Isn't that funny?
they
Because
can't-
now they've got the support of the public.
Yes.
Who's like, thank you for not leaving us in the lurch just
Exactly.
because you're trying to fight. And we get
Exactly.
it, but thank you. And they're still making it a really serious problem that requires decisive attention from their owners.
And they're
That's
not
genius.
striking, they're just not collecting your money. I thought that was brilliant.
It's more like a sort of a corporate disobedience.
Oh, this thing coming up next, does this apply to me, sleep deprivation?
Maybe this actually does relate to you a little bit because you do not sleep.
We'll find out why coming up next.
We're brought to you by Connect Heating and Air. Go to UtahHeatingandCooling.com for their $39 air conditioner tune-up special. Some care now could make the difference in hundreds of dollars of energy bills this summer. And by New Millennium Financial Group. Take your feeble financial health back to a more robust position with a consult with New Millennium Financial Group. They're offering a complimentary financial analysis to get you started at utahsfinancialplanner.com.
Hey, welcome back to the Todd and Erin Daily Stream. Sleep deprivation, it gives you so many things that hurts you.
Well, you know, it's interesting.
That's almost English, wasn't it? It's the cold medication.
It's okay. We all love you.
Yeah.
Sudafed has just not been your friend today, that's all.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's pretty interesting. They've actually seen this in studies before that for adults, if you get too little sleep, it makes it more and more difficult for your body to lose weight. They see a higher incidence of weight gain in people who are sleep deprived. Unfortunately, that apparently also works now for kids. According to British researchers, too little sleep does increase a child's risk of obesity, which of course then leads to cardiovascular disease and type 2 diabetes, which is on a dramatic increase in children.
So, like from kids starting off that young?
Well, what they were finding, and they actually went backwards on this, because they started with, okay, here's a pool of the population that is suddenly at a decisively higher risk for type 2 diabetes, that's decisively more obese than they were. Why is this happening? And then they started tracking it back.
Right.
Now, we expect a lot from our kids these days. We expect a lot of lessons and activities and homework and all the other things, and there's a lot of extra things they have to do. Children are getting less and less sleep. Part of this is because of increased responsibility. Part of it is because increased anxiety, which is also on the rise in children. But what they're finding is they went through 42 studies that included more than 75,000 children. Now, the kids age 18 and younger were followed for about 3 years, and the kids who got less than the recommended amount of sleep for their age group gained more weight, and they were 58% more likely to become overweight or obese than those who got adequate sleep. And this was a consistent relationship across
That's
all
crazy.
children.
For 3 years.
From 18 down to toddler, it was consistent. So the age variance in there did not impact the findings of the study. You don't get enough sleep, you are over twice as likely to get
That
weight
explains a
infidelities.
lot.
So it's really
That's
sad.
what I'm going to blame it on, too.
So it's just interesting. So it goes back to the concept of no matter what, we've got to find a way to get the kids to get the right amount of sleep.
Right. which
So-
they did not do camping at Yuba Lake.
You're a little bitter about this, aren't you?
My eyes hurt so much from not sleeping, and I don't know why you arranged that. We have an old 69 Nomad trailer I fixed up. I don't understand why you changed the sleeping order and where we all were going to be.
Because the one didn't work.
Anyway, the point being, no sleep. But we had a wonderful time, and we did some hiking and stuff, and it was so funny because what you're going to see, we'll leave you with this, but hang on, before we go, it is a beautiful place to go. It
2
is.
hours away from Salt Lake City, and we've never been
I
there.
had no idea.
I know, right?
The lake's a little low now, but
Gorgeous.
the daughter still wanted to swim, and it was freezing, so there you go. So I'm going to leave you with one of the gems that we found, and this is the cactus flowering in the desert, and we'll see you tomorrow.
It's so pristine.
It is pristine.
It's so lovely.
Enjoy.
We'll see you tomorrow.